Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today. We're going to unpack a complete, totally structured 4 to 6 week journey, and it is designed specifically for complete beginners. I'm talking absolutely zero coding background required. We're going to map out exactly how you can go from staring at a blank screen, wondering what to do, to actually writing your own working applications. It's going to be a lot of fun.
But let's be honest for a second here. Have you ever really wanted to learn to code? Maybe you even opened up a tutorial, but then you immediately felt completely intimidated by all the jargon? You just didn't even know where to start? Well, listen, that feeling of being overwhelmed is completely normal. Literally, everyone feels that way at first. But that's exactly the problem this beginner-friendly roadmap is going to help you conquer once and for all.
So, to pull this off, we're going to focus entirely on Python. Now, Python is this incredibly powerful programming language, but the best part is that it's highly readable. Honestly, it reads a lot like regular, everyday English. Our goal here isn't to get bogged down in, deep theoretical computer science concepts. Instead, we really want to focus on showing you how you can comfortably write simple programs and actually build real-world, usable mini-projects right from day one.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We're going to start off with Python and coding basics, then move right into decisions and loops, explore functions and data, conquer file and error handling, and then finally wrap the whole thing up with capstones and careers.
So, Module 1, Python and Coding Basics. In this very first stage, we're breaking down the fundamental building blocks. We'll answer the big, obvious question: what actually is programming? And right off the bat, I want to assure you that getting everything set up is incredibly straightforward. We cover installing Python and industry-standard tools like VS Code and Jupyter Notebook. And hey, don't let those names intimidate you. They're really just fancy word processors for code. From there, we get right into the mechanics. We're talking creating variables, taking user input so your program can actually listen to what you're typing, and using basic math operators, like addition and subtraction. It's essentially just learning a brand new, highly logical way to communicate.
And here is where you're going to see an immediate transformation, because you aren't just going to be passively reading textbooks here. You are going to be building. Using just those basic tools we talked about, variables, inputs, and simple math, you will already have the skills to build a real simple student information app right away. So yeah, you are officially a coder right in Module 1. How cool is that?
Moving on to Module 2, Decisions, Loops, and Logic.
So how do we actually give life to our code? Well, we do it by adding conditional statements. Things like if, if, and else. This basically allows your program to make decisions, to say, hey, if the user does this, then I'm going to do that. We then pair those logical operators with loops, specifically for loops and while loops. Think about it. Instead of writing the exact same line of code 100 times manually, a loop lets your code repeat tasks completely automatically. It's a real game changer. You'll also master the range function and learn how to use break and continue statements to stop a loop right in its tracks when a certain condition is met.
And this brilliantly illustrates why all of this matters so much. Mastering this specific logic lets you build a fully interactive ATM simulation program. Just think about how a real ATM works. It has to check your balance, right? It has to loop back to a main menu, process a deposit, or even deny a withdrawal if your funds happen to be too low. All of that, that's just conditional logic at work.
Next up, Module 3, Functions and Data Structures. Okay, so as your programs get bigger, you really can't just have lines of code running endlessly down the page. It gets super messy. That's where functions come in. We use them to create nice, reusable blocks of code that return specific values, and we cover scope basics too. We also introduce what I like to call your new programmer's tool belt, data structures. You can kind of think of lists and tuples as your digital filing cabinets, and things like dictionaries and sets as a way to carefully label and organize your data so you can find it instantly. These basically allow you to store massive amounts of information incredibly efficiently, and when you pair that with string operations, you can manipulate text exactly how you want it.
To really appreciate this leap in your skills, let's compare your early basic practice, like making simple to-do lists or basic word counters, with what you're going to build now. Your mini project for this module is actually a robust student marks management system. Because you now know how to properly use lists and dictionaries, your program can easily store grades for an entire class, calculate the averages, and even automatically find the top-performing student. It's really starting to come together now.
Module 4, File Handling and Error Handling.
Right, so up until now, whenever you close your program, all your data just disappears, right? Well, here is where we fix that. You are going to learn how to actually read and write files directly to your hard drive.
We'll cover things like append mode and the basics of CSVs, which, if you don't know, are essentially just simple digital spreadsheets. And just as importantly, we're going to cover exception handling, spotting common Python errors. By using try, except, and finally blocks, you make absolutely sure your program won't just spontaneously shut down and crash when a user inevitably types in the wrong information. Instead, it'll handle that error safely and gracefully.
Now, these are truly advanced, real-world skills, and they unlock the ability for you to build a personal diary application. And because you now totally understand file handling, this app will actually save your diary entries permanently to your computer. It allows you to safely load and read old saved entries later. It's a fully functional piece of software.
Module 5. Capstone Projects and Careers.
Let's move to the climax of the roadmap and see how this really builds your confidence. Here, you get to choose a final capstone project. You could build a comprehensive expense tracker, maybe a fun quiz game, or even a full library management system. But we also introduce basic libraries at this stage. That means you could even build a basic chatbot, or, get this, a weather app that pulls real-time data using basic APIs. Think of an API as a digital bridge that lets your app talk to live weather stations. I mean, this is serious momentum you're building.
And the reason we structure it like this is because this single foundational course opens up 4 massive career directions. Just understanding basic Python is the absolute gateway to data analysis, web development, automation, and yes, even artificial intelligence and machine learning. By learning this stuff, you are literally building the bedrock for all of these exciting fields.
Now, what's really interesting about our approach is that we don't just throw information at you and wish you luck. Instead, we use a very specific 5-step teaching strategy, and it's designed to make learning incredibly smooth. Step 1, we explain the concept simply. Step 2, we show a live coding example. Step 3, we give you practice exercises. Step 4, you build a mini project to really cement that knowledge. And Step 5, we cap it all off with a weekly revision quiz. It's a proven step-by-step flow.
So, your 4 to 6 week adventure is completely structured from day 1. Week 1 is all about basic programs. Week 2 brings the loop challenge. Week 3 scales things up with your function assignment. Week 4 introduces file handling, which then leads perfectly into your final week capstone. You know exactly what trial to expect at every single stage of your journey. There's absolutely no guesswork.
And, to make absolutely sure you are truly retaining all this knowledge, we have a very clear assessment structure. Instead of just passively sitting there watching videos, you'll be actively proving your new skills week by week. You'll go from basic quizzes and programs in week 1 right through to loop and function assignments, file handling projects, all the way to a full capstone presentation in the final week. It completely ensures you're actually mastering the logic as you go.
So, the crucial point is this. By following this roadmap, your final transformation is pretty much guaranteed. You will understand Python fundamentals inside and out. You will be writing your own beginner programs completely independently. You'll build real, working mini projects, and you will truly grasp how programming logic works. Basically, you'll walk away fully ready to tackle intermediate learning.
All of which leaves us with just one final, very important thing to consider. You have the roadmap, you know the tools, and you can clearly see the destination. So, are you ready to write your very first line of code and actually start building? I really hope this explainer has shown you just how incredibly achievable your coding journey really is. Thanks so much for joining us, and happy coding!